Hi, I'm back. It's Leanne from Nurture Weight Loss. How are you going? Reducing overwhelm, number 2 in our ebook. All right. So nothing great can come from an overwhelmed, stressed, tired, fatigued, cranky mummy, right? Or woman, for that matter, right? So we've got to find ways to reduce the overwhelm. And that's quite important because if we don't have that space, we need space. We need space to think, to get clear, to feel clear, feel positive. Often our negative thoughts come from being tired, right? Where we're just tired and we just get fed up. So you've got to, look at that because our health will be affected by how you're feeling, what you're doing. If you're in a chronic situation where you're always stressed and unwell, it's going to be hard to create healthy changes or to feel positive, yeah? So we need to use tools like mindfulness, calm, create healthy habits, use self-care, and we have to be aware of our emotions. Our emotions, our time wasters, our negative thoughts, perfectionism, unrealistic expectations, our beliefs, unhelpful habits, unhelpful thoughts. So there's so many things in there that really play on that overwhelm, right? So we feel confused, we feel stressed, we have no clarity, we have no path or direction. So that anxiety or that anxiousness about all that, if you're not organized, if you're feeling like you're behind all the time, all those things add into the overwhelm. So we have to look at that when we're talking about overwhelm, yeah? So in my 10-day program, we're going to talk about each one of these steps and see what's happening for you, yeah? So we've got to adjust our thoughts. We've got to become more focused on what we want and what matters, right? So sometimes we don't know what matters to us. We're just in autopilot. We're just doing the jobs that have to be done. So it's taking that time to feel calm, to think about what's really important to you, yeah? So being present, yeah, I think all of those things. So sometimes we actually feel busy, but we're not busy doing things that we want to do, and we're not busy doing things that are necessary. Maybe they're unnecessary, but we're just caught up with what we do and what we've always done, or thinking we have to help other people all the time and not saying no. There's lots of reasons why we might be overwhelmed. It's not necessarily just work or just busy. We often feel busy, and we're not busy. We're just overwhelmed, right? I'm going to call it fake busy, right? We're going to be fake busy. So I'll talk quickly about our hormones and why this is a really big problem, especially if you're trying to be healthy, lose weight. Our hormones, the cortisol hormone is in our stomach, which is why we tend to grab fat cells around our stomach, because that's where most of those hormones are, right? So they increase, that hormone increases to deal with stress and fatigue, right? So it works closely with adrenaline and the fight or flight response, which actually happens when we are stressed. Now that's when the adrenaline gland works overtime, because it's like if it was a cave, if we were in the caveman era, we'd be, maybe we would need that fight or flight response because we're being chased by a saber-toothed tiger or a dinosaur, right? Or we need to hunt to get our food. So that fight or flight response was natural, right? It's what our body does. But unfortunately, in this day and age, we are not in danger. We are not being chased by a dinosaur, but we still have too much our adrenal gland is working overtime. We've got too much adrenaline. It makes us insulin resistant because our body is so working so hard, yeah? And we have too much cortisol, which isn't going to go away. So that's where so it means our body is in constant fight. It's always on the alarm, right? It's alarmed. It's in crisis all the time. So if you don't get that overwhelmed down and that stress down, it's very difficult to make a positive or healthy change while that's going on, because that's something that your body's doing. It's not releasing toxins. It's holding on to the fat cells for survival, because it thinks you're being chased by a tiger. You really need to work on reducing that, yeah? That's not a good way to live. You don't want your body to be in total crisis. It should be able to turn off, right, and turn on. But the problem is, in this day and age, our bodies are not turning the cortisol off. They're staying in this chronic state, which causes illness in the end of the day. We can't stay like that, right? Our bodies can't perform like that. So you need to take a break, you need to find clarity, you need to find space to find out what you want and what you really need, right? So the me time, the breathing, movement, good food choices are going to make you feel happier, sleep better. You're going to have more energy and feel motivated. So that's where these are healthy actions, right? This is self-care. If you can't do these things,